The film commences in the year as 1942. Germany is still proving to be very powerful in World War II. The German Sea has entered Russia and is attacking the Russians with their tanks and dropping threatening papers from planes asking them to surrender. Russian citizens are going into a lot of panic. In such a situation, we see a horseman whose name is Ogarkov. Ogarkov is a communication officer in the Russian army. His job is to deliver the message from one place to another. He had just reached the battalion when German tanks attacked there, and the Russian soldiers did not have as many modern weapons as the Germans, nor did they have any tanks, yet they started fighting them in their own way with their rifles. But from the front, the Germans are firing powerful blasts, and due to one such blast, the Ogarkov horse falls and runs away, and Ogarkov lies on the ground to avoid the German fire because he has no weapon. And then, due to not being able to counter the German army, all the Russian soldiers started running away from there. But the sergeant of their battalion asks everyone to stop and fight, but no one stops. Ogarkov also gets up and starts running away. The only objective is to move away from the German tank and save one's life. The German tanks are also moving fast after killing the Russian soldiers, including Ogarkov. In the next scene, we see Ogarkov in front of 3 Russian officers, and he is being interrogated for running away from the battle. Ogarkov and the other soldiers have been accused of being traitors. Ogarkov is finally declared guilty. It is decided to shoot Ogarkov, but when to shoot him is not yet decided, so until then, they put him underground in a solitary confinement cabin. A guard is also detailed for this. The name of this guard is Zhurbaev. He is too strict on the task he's assigned and does not respond to Ogarkov's screams. Shortly after that, the Germans arrive at the station, but they do not find any Russian soldiers there. Hence, they do not attack there because all the soldiers here have already fled before their arrival. However, while they were leaving, Zhurbaev secretly spots the German tanks, and before anything untoward happens, he leaves the place with Ogarkov, and now both of them head towards command headquarters to get orders on when to shoot Ogarkov. On the way, it becomes night for both of them, and they both sleep in the forest. The next morning, they meet a Russian battalion and ask them to come with them to fight on the front. However, despite Ogarkov's wanting to go, Zhurbaev insists that they have received orders to go to command headquarters. After that, both of them proceeded on their way. Going further, both of them pass through a village where the Germans had created havoc, and after this, they have to face a lot of obstacles. They had to cross a big river and move ahead on their journey, but they definitely felt the presence of someone in the grass, and when they both looked, they found a cow and a small child there. That child was sitting there hiding from the German sea. He informs both of them that there is a pilot who is injured and hiding under a tree. The boy's mother does her best to assist the man, but he is struggling. The boy leads them to the injured pilot, who happens to be a Russian pilot, and helps him cross the river. Ogarkov wants to take the pilot along so that he can receive medical treatment. However, Zhurbaev cannot swim, so Ogarkov decides to use a raft to transport the pilot across the river. This only grants him freedom from the guard, Zhurbaev, who is hesitant to let Ogarkov go alone. Zhurbaev worries that Ogarkov might escape and fail to fulfill his mission of delivering Ogarkov to the command headquarters. They argue, but Zhurbaev starts to sympathize with the pilot's condition and eventually agrees to Ogarkov's request. They plan to meet on the other side. As planned, Ogarkov takes the injured pilot across the river and, true to his word, meets Zhurbaev in the forest. Together, they carry the pilot along their journey. Along the way, they come across a Russian battalion. They join forces with the battalion and reach one of their base camps in the jungle. There, they have a meal and rest, and the battalion sergeant asks both of them to join him in fighting on the front lines. Zhurbaev tries to explain that they need to go to the command headquarters as he has a mission to deliver Ogarkov. However, the commander asserts his authority and orders Zhurbaev to follow his orders. Zhurbaev agrees and complies. Later, Ogarkov is given a rifle and a cap, indicating that he will have to proceed with these items. Zhurbaev is also given new boots, as his old ones were damaged. Shortly after the battalion advanced towards the front, they encountered a settlement that was captured by the German army. In response, the Russian soldiers initiated an attack on the German forces. The Germans took cover and began firing from a sniper position. In order to locate the sniper, Ogarkov bravely stood up and started running, but he was shot by the German sniper. Zhurbaev swiftly retaliated by shooting in the direction of the sniper, successfully eliminating him. The German sniper, who was hiding in a window, was killed, and the Russian soldiers pressed forward to witness the demise of their enemies. Zhurbaev and Ogarkov shared smiles and laughter, celebrating their victory. Despite their roles as guard and prisoner, they seemed to form a connection. It was later revealed that Ogarkov had not been injured by the sniper's shot and had only pretended to be dead. On this occasion, a journalist came there and started taking photographs of everyone, and it is a must because they had very bravely killed the German sniper. Ogarkov is also very happy, but only until Zhurbaev surprises him with the idea of going to the command headquarters. Ogarkov thought that they were finally over that, but it turns out Zhurbaev still wanted to fulfill his mission to bring Ogarkov executed. After After that, both of them left. At night, both of them sit at a place after lighting a fire in the field, and they decide to spend the night there. Later, deep in the night, Jurbaev asks Ogarkov for help in writing a letter to his mother. Ogarkov starts writing the letter to him and asks him what to write in the letter, consenting to help him regardless. The next morning, Ogarkov sets out to run away from there and leave the guard in the wild. But after a short distance, he comes back, not knowing how to run away from there. He shortly reunites with Jurbaev, and they set out on their journey to reach the command headquarters. However, the commander at the headquarters ordered immediately to shoot Ogarkov and other traitors that were found. Jurbaev argues with the man that he cannot do this without court orders, but the commander stands firm that at times of war, trials may not occur, and decisions can be taken by the person in charge at the time. He then gets very angry at him and throws him out of there. Shortly after that, the executive chief commander arrives there in a car. In the meantime, Ogarkov is at the base and is made to stand in line with the other criminals. As they were about to be shot to death, a soldier came running and informed the leader that a man named Ogarkov must be saved immediately. Innocent Ogarkov is grateful for his luck that day. When he finally approaches the commanding officer, the officer rewards him with a red star for his bravery in killing a German sniper during yesterday's battle. Giving a red star signifies that the soldier deserves an award. The officer also informs him that he owes a debt to Jurbaev, who brought the necessary legal documents and halted the execution. After leaving the area, Ogarkov asks why he was saved. Jurbaev jokingly replies that he still needs to write a letter to his loved one, which is why he incurred the expense and had to save Ogarkov's life. Both of them share a laugh and prepare to depart. In the quiet of the evening, they halt their travels and seek shelter in a nearby dwelling, requesting permission to spend the night. The lady of the house welcomes them, her eyes lingering on Ogarkov with a hint of nostalgia. She shares that her husband, who bore a striking resemblance to Ogarkov, tragically lost his life in the war. As dawn breaks, they begin to prepare themselves for departure. The woman bids Ogarkov a warm goodbye, extending an invitation for him to visit should his travels bring him back to the village. Their farewell is abruptly interrupted by the terrifying sound of an explosion nearby. The Germans have arrived. The German sea artillery commences its assault, and the peaceful morning is shattered by a series of powerful explosions. When the dust settles, everyone scatters in fear. Miraculously, no one is hurt, except for Jurbaev, who has been struck by one of the explosives and lies there, grievously wounded. Ogarkov rushes to his side, carrying him back into the house in an attempt to administer aid. Despite his efforts, Jurbaev succumbs to his injuries within moments. The loss deeply affects Ogarkov, who later buries his companion in the yard of the house where they had found brief respite. The woman, seeing Ogarkov's blood-stained shirt, insists on washing it. As Ogarkov grapples with the shock of the sudden turn of events, she discovers a court order in the pocket of the shirt, decreeing his execution. Handing him the slip, she watches as Ogarkov dresses and sets out to meet his fate, heading towards the court. As he journeys on, Ogarkov is confronted with the harsh realities of war. He witnesses the final moments of those who, in the name of conflict, are forced to leave their loved ones behind and depart from this world. Finally, Ogarkov reaches the command headquarters and comes across one of the men he knew back in the battalion. The men talk to one of their bosses to decide if Ogarkov should live or die. The story moves to Germany in 1945. When the war is finished, the Russians have won, and they have taken over Germany. We see Ogarkov, who is now older and wiser. It turns out that the orders to kill Ogarkov were canceled because if he were a real traitor, he wouldn't have risked his life in the fight. Moreover, he could have escaped from the road, but he didn't, nor did he run away after his ward died. Now we see Ogarkov as a loyal and brave person, not a cowardly traitor. He also showed great friendship because he fulfilled his friend's duty, even by going to court. The movie ends with Ogarkov finding a photographer who took a picture of him and Jurbaev after they won the fight. The picture was also printed in the newspaper, and the photographer gave it to him. The statement shows their heroic actions in killing the German sniper and their journey together. And with that, the movie ends. We hope you enjoyed our video. Watch the next recaps on the screen and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing recaps. See you in the next one.